This is a full room. I'm Julie Simmons. I'm an improvement kata and a coaching kata learner and a coach. And I'm definitely a kata geek because this is my 6th KataCon. A few days before Dwayne asked me if I would introduce our next speaker, I just happened to be reflecting on who are the most influential people in my life. These are people who have taught me, mentored me, shepherded me, encouraged me, pushed me, befriended me, and changed who I am and how I live in this world. I love this work and being a part of this community, and I'm very proud to say that Mike Rother is one of the most influential people in my life. We would not all be here together if it weren't for Mike, if it weren't for his research, his speaking engagements, his teaching, his leadership, and his total willingness to share what he's learned so that we can share back with him so that he can learn more. That is what has brought us all here together as a group of kata geeks. So please join me in giving a really warm welcome to Mike Rother.
Good morning. Thanks, Julie. Some of that is true. So it is a great pleasure to see you, all of you. Thank you for coming. Also, listening to the previous talks, they say if you have something that you're interested in learning, if you have something to strive for, to pursue, you're going to have a good life. I think we're lucky in that sense. And like you said, Julie, the topic is not baked. It's so interesting to see all these different directions it goes in and people picking up different aspects of it, different twists on the same thing. I'm enjoying it so much more than the old way we approached lean, which was kind of as a baked topic. We go to Toyota, let's see what they're doing, then let's try to do that in our factories. This is much different. Everybody's engaged and working on it and thinking about it and going, hey, wait a minute. This isn't, or it fits differently, or we're making different things out of it. And thanks to the hosts, too. Everybody's doing such a great job. It's so cool. So there's too much to share. We're bolting the doors in the back. Drew, would you get the ones back there? They've only given me 5 minutes. I'm down to 4. Sorry, Dwayne. There's just too much to share. So I had to pick one thing, and I just want to give a quick update. So my wife, how many know who that is? All right. Can we take a picture of that and send it to my wife? She's like, nobody's going to know who Chevy Chase and Weekend Update is, right? So, okay, my people. So how many people are not aware of kata in the classroom? Not aware of kata in the classroom? Okay, very few. Cool. Right, great. So it's basically, at some point we realized that doing this with young people in K through 12 and other educational environments is really a big lever. They haven't developed all their habits yet. It's a simple 1-hour exercise that educators of all stripes can use to introduce the 4-step improvement kata to their classroom in an interactive and fun way. And it's gotten really popular. It's used all over the world by various educators. One thing that surprised us, it's not only used in schools, which was the original intention, it's used in businesses. We didn't even think about that. Yes, but adults can do it too. It's quite a surprise. Just kidding. Although I do think that statement, we used to say even a child can do it, and some of you have heard me mention this. The more I work on this stuff and the more I learn, the more I realize the statement should be even an adult can do it. We're the ones who have the well-formed habits, and it's harder for us to change. So, but it's used in businesses too. That's the picture on the right-hand side. Tons of companies are using this just as a fun 1-hour way to introduce the improvement kata pattern to a team or to a group. In education, you can see, I think we have a laser pointer there. K through 12 was the original idea. Colleges and universities are using it. Community colleges, of course. A couple that have surprised us in the last year or two is vocational schools. I'm going to be in Italy at a vocational school in a couple of weeks. They teach welding, electronics, whatever you want to learn in these technical skills, but they're discovering that we not only need to teach people how to weld, we need to teach them how to pursue their goal. What are they trying to do? How to work maybe a little more scientifically. So they're combining the vocational education with a little bit of Toyota Kata or Improvement Kata, Coaching Kata education. That was kind of cool. And the last one, this one really came out of left field and surprised us, keeping Kata weird, right? Maker spaces. So there are lots of maker spaces out there, and they have the same thing. They provide the tools, and people can come in and use the tools and learn how to make things. They have all sorts of equipment, embroidery, computers, and so forth and so on. But some maker spaces tell us, you know, we don't want to just teach how to use the tools. We also want to teach the people that come in how to pursue whatever it is. A lot of times they're trying to make a product, develop a product or an idea. And so they're starting to add in practice of the improvement kata just as kind of an overlay, as an additional skill they can learn in addition to the technical skills. So that surprised us. That came out of left field. It was kind of cool. So as every year, I encourage you to use Kata in the classroom yourself. Everything is available on the KataToGrow.com website. It's all free. We just update it when we learn something. And I also encourage you, number 2, to share it with educators in your region. That's kind of how it's gotten out there. Almost everybody knows a teacher. Almost everybody knows an educator. So my encouragement to you is to do this exercise at home. Do it in your organization. Pick a few people. But also find some teachers to share it with. So one thing we've learned about that is, yes, educators, they understand it almost immediately. Oh, yeah, we're supposed to be teaching critical thinking skills, or supposed to be teaching STEM skills, that kind of thing. But guess what? And we all know this. Teachers are busy. Busy is maybe too small of a word. They're overwhelmed. They've got all these requirements, all this testing, and so forth and so on. And we've had a lot of teachers say to us, you know, that's great stuff. I just don't have time to take on another thing. And it's a very legitimate comment. I like this picture because it kind of conveys that. Really? You want me to do what now? So it turns out there's this headmaster, principal. That's Tanya on the left in the picture. She's the principal of a small primary school in Bavaria, Germany. And she has this elegant approach. She's taken the Kata in the classroom materials, the Kata in the classroom idea, and she's done it a little bit differently. And what they do, you could kind of summarize it with no new content. And again, the teachers are overwhelmed, so the idea of, hey, guess what? You don't have to add new content. What she's done is she takes the 4-step improvement kata pattern, and she uses that as an overlay or a template or a framework for existing activities. So there are a lot of existing activities in schools, and often you'll watch these activities and you'll say, why are you doing this? And it's kind of a team-building thing, but there's no iteration. There's no experimentation, really. So whoever wins, wins, and it teaches that as opposed to, okay, what's your next goal? What you're trying to get to? What'd you learn from the failure you just had? That kind of thing. So they take existing activities, and there are a number of examples in the pictures here, and they simply add the 4 steps of the improvement kata on that. And it works great. It takes these existing activities and adds a dimension or an element of metacognitive skill practice to those activities. And it's kind of cool. And the teacher doesn't really have to add any new content. They do have to get the 4 steps of the improvement kata, which you can do with the puzzle exercise. That takes 1 hour. Here's the cool thing. Tanya wrote an article in German in some obscure Bavarian teacher magazine, right? I was like, Mike, I've got an article. Great. Can't wait to share it at KataCon. And Dwayne and I took one look at the article, of course, and it's in German, right? So I encouraged her to write it in English, and she did exactly that. And she did a really nice job. We're now in the process of trying to get this published. I've got some education professors at the University of Michigan helping me figure out what the publications are and maybe trying to get it in there. But in the meantime, here's her article draft, and Lean Frontiers has put it on the orientation page that they mentioned earlier. So if you scroll down the page and you see that icon, just click on that and you can download a PDF of Tanya's article draft. And I encourage you to do it. It's not a super long article. It's illustrated. Take a look at what she's doing. It's really quite cool, and she describes it really well in this little article here. And if we do get it published in the next year, Dwayne and Lean Frontiers and I will send it out to you. There are more examples on KataToGrow.com of taking the 4-step improvement kata pattern and overlaying it on various activities. So you can share not only Kata in the classroom with teachers, you can also share the article. Please feel free to take that PDF and share it with any educator you want, and just say, hey, here's a quick description of how this works in a classroom without adding a lot of burden to you. You can add metacognitive skill practice without a lot of extra burden. And if you do that, let us know how it's going. Enjoy the conference.